Hi everyone, this is Ben Songrath with the Learning Technology Center of Illinois, and today we are going to go over some Gmail tips and tricks. So the first thing we want to talk about in Gmail is actually setting up labels. So labels are interesting because labels are actually a way that you can organize your email. And in Outlook, we're used to calling this feature a folder, but Gmail classifies it actually as a label instead. So to create a label, first thing you need to know is where's the label at, and labels actually appear over here on your left-hand side. So you see inbox, and then you see other options under here, including all of your labels. So what I did here is I actually just emailed myself from a work account. And when I click on that, see here's the email, but what I want to do is I want to label this. So I want to actually label this email. So what I'll do is I'll go up to this icon here. You can do it a couple different ways. When you're inside of the message, you can go up to the label icon, or when you're in your inbox, if you check the box next to the message, you see the label option pops up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select that. Notice that it pops up label as, and then all of my labels appear here. What I'm actually going to do is create a new label. So I'm going to go ahead and create new, name it, and then hit create. And when that happens, on the left-hand side over here, you see if I scroll down, there is LTC work as a label that I just made. And then in the email here, next to the subject line, LTC work now also displays. So that's important because now if I click on LTC work, I will see all the messages that have that label attached to it, which is just that one for the time being. So if I go back to my inbox, you'll notice that email is still there with that label, which is great because that's what I wanted to do. Now the question becomes, how do I set up some system that will automatically apply that label to all incoming emails from that address or from that service or from any person in particular that you want? So to do that, we're going to go ahead and select this box next to the email that we want to mirror adding that label to. So in this case, I want all emails coming in from my work account to be labeled LTC work. So to do that, I'm going to do what's called create a filter. So to create a filter, I'll go up to the three dots here. I have to have the checkbox selected next to the email. Go to the three dots and then say filter messages like these. When I do that, it creates a search up here. So I want to make sure it says from, and then the email address that I want to create the filter from. And then down here, I'll see now, create filter. When I select that, I now get to this screen, and it gives me a series of options that I can choose. Many of which might be interesting to you, including skip the inbox, which sends it straight to your archive, so it never appears as a red message in your inbox. But you can also see you have mark as read, which would do the same thing, but keep it in your inbox. Star it, or in our case, what we want to do is apply the label. So I'll select apply the label, and then I'm going to choose the label, LTC work. And then down here, one thing I might want to consider is the bottom option, which is also apply filter to matching conversations. So I only have one matching conversation from this email right now, but I'm going to go ahead and select it anyways. Then I hit create filter. And now that filter has been created. So I'm going to go back to my work email. I'm going to go ahead and send another email to see if this works. So you see the email popped in and it says LTC work automatically applied to it, which is perfect. And then on the left-hand side, I can scroll down, find the LTC work folder or label, select it, and that email is still there. So my label and my filter worked perfectly. So the next thing we want to consider is some settings options. So when I look at my settings for my Gmail, I'm going to go ahead and go up to the top right corner and see my settings gear cog. I'll select that and then go down to settings. Now once in the settings, you'll have a lot of different options. I'm only going to go over a couple. The first one is actually to establish your undo send. So undo send is the fourth option down in your general tab of your settings. And this actually allows you to set a cancellation period on all emails to a particular set of time. So I always recommend going either 20 or 30 seconds. What this means is that you can compose an email and then hit send. And then you notice down here in the bottom left-hand corner, you have 20 or 30 seconds to undo it and bring it back. So now you can see that because I hit undo, it brings that email back from the sent option, which is great. I'm going to go back into my settings now. Okay, so I'll reset that to 20. Then if we scroll down a little bit, you can also find your different options here, a lot of which we won't go into detail in this particular video, but one that might be of importance to you is addressing the signature down here, which you can do, and your vacation responder. Okay, so another option that we want to go over is if you ever want to edit your labels or your filters, you can do it from settings. So you notice it has labels here next to the general tab. If I select that, all of my labels appear here, and if I ever want to remove any of them, I can simply select hide, and then these are the created labels that I have the option to actually remove completely from my list. If I wanted to set up my filters or look at my filters, I can go to filters and blocked addresses. Here you can see that I have several different filters on here, and I can also go ahead and delete them if needed. On the next way we have the advanced features. This is important because you actually have several different advanced features here that Google gives you options to add. I only enable one in this email. In my work email, I actually enable 2, the canned responses. But you do need to know how to go in and enable some of these features, just as a good way to kind of maximize the power of Gmail. When you're done, always make sure you scroll down and save your changes. All right, so there's one more thing that we want to show when we're looking at our email, and that is tasks. So over on the right hand side of your screen, you should see a column that pops up that has calendar, keep, and tasks. If you don't see that, look at the very bottom and you'll see an arrow down the bottom right hand corner that'll say show side panel. Kick that out and now you'll see your side panel that has those 3 on it. Tasks is a really cool option to be able to keep track of what you're doing and keeping a task list for you to be organized with. So what I'm going to do for this is show you how you can actually go ahead and add a task by just simply clicking add task and then going over to the edit icon in that task. You see you can actually do things like add a date and a time, which is awesome, or add subtasks, and then you can create more than one list if you wanted to do that as well. When you add a date and time, it'll show up on your Google Calendar underneath the task calendar. Now what I really want to show you is how I can take an email message that might contain something I have to do and add it to my task list so I don't forget to do that thing. So here's my email here. I select the box, and then again I'm going to go up to the 3 dots. When I go to the 3 dots, you'll see add to tasks. So I'll go ahead and click that. And then now over on my task list, that second email, it brings in the subject line, shows up here with a link that if I select it, will automatically open to that email. Perfect for keeping your emails organized and knowing what you have to work on and what you have to follow up with. Now, if second email is not a great name for this, you can simply select the edit details, change the name, and then hit back, and now that'll update to make more sense. So that's how you add an email to tasks. Okay, with that, that's about all that we have for our quick tips and tricks on Gmail. Thanks for watching.